Well, my painting project today is another scene from the Sandy RSPB headquarters in the UK, the Royal Society Protection of Birds. I've done a few paintings from there, and it's quite a challenge with woodland scene and greens, of course, because you've got to differentiate all the greens. But this is a little bit different though. I've got green here, but I've largely got a lot of light here, a lot of yellow light and these lovely trees. So I'm going to try and maintain that lightness, and the woodland foreground here and the ground here, lots of leaf mold, but little shafts of light and these lovely greens here, and the shafts of light coming onto these, and the shadows on these big trunks of these trees. So let's get on with that. It's quite a challenge actually, but I'm going to be doing it on this oil paper, Winsor & Newton oil paper A4. So I'm going to try that. I did one the other day and it was rather slick. The paint was, I used a little too much oil, I think. I used some poppy seed oil, but I think today I'm going to try and use liquid as a sort of medium really for me. So let's get on with that. So I'm going to do the traditional way with oil paint, is to getting my darks, my darkest darks, and then follow on from that, quite opposite from the watercolors, of course. So let's get, I say it's a fairly small format, being A4. So let's get the liquid. Got a little liquid, a little pot here. So let's get some darks in anyway. So I'm going to get some umber and some blues to get a sketch. That's a nice darkish colour to get me started. So I've got to try and preserve some of the lights, of course. Just painting some light over dark oil paint is a bit tricky. Certainly if you're going to do it as I do in alla prima in one session. So let's just sketch this in. Oh yes, this liquid certainly helps the paint flow off of the brush nicely. But the other point is yes, you get it's not too oily. It helps the drying. It's aids the drying process. So I'm just getting in these, mapping in some of these dark forms and shapes. I think I have to bring that. It's a much bigger tree there. There's some out here fading away a little bit. So I'm keeping them fairly light, not too dark colour. There is an area of darkness in here though. So I need to make sure I've got those. So I'm getting the ultramarine and some raw umber. Give me some darks there, a little darker. And here, got a tree coming out here. These, as I said, these are catching the light as well. We've got one here. So I'm leaving the whites. I can come over them with some white. It'll be a little easier to get that in if I don't have a thick layer of white on it, of paint on it, black or darker colour. It could be trickier then to get some sort of cover. Yes, we've got one out here. And in here we're going to have some greens as well. I think I've just noticed, obviously, the darker areas of the base of your trees. You're not catching a lot of light there. And over here, certain right, that's it. And we've got some finer, some darks in here. Let's get some there, more umber in here. Knock that blue down a little bit that I have there. Squinting my eyes, I get some areas of dark and light. When you squint, you take out all the detail. You just can see the forms, the tonal value. And I'm just sort of blocking in here. And this is my pathway. This walk through the woodland here. Little dark area and the shaft of light, of dark coming across there, and then we'll see the light, pick it out as I go. And let's get some of these greens in. Some green here. I've got some phthalo green on my palette, which you have to be a little bit careful with it. It can be a bit too vivid sometimes, but I'm going to use some. Some changes. Some greens in there. So I can put some yellows. I've got some lemon yellow and yellow ochre. So I can vary my greens. It's quite yellow in places as well. Let's get this, tickle these different greens in. we'll get some there. Yes. I'm trying to come in between the big trees. Let's just go back and reinforce where that tree is. Get it a little bit darker just to show me. There it is. Right, let's go back to those greens, and again squint my eyes, a bit darker in here. So let's get straight in and make sure I've got some of these yellows, which I definitely need here. So this is lemon yellow with that bit of phthalo green that I had, and very bright in some of these areas here. So make sure I clean my brush off, otherwise in between changes of colour or tone, otherwise you tend to get a little bit muddy. So let's make sure I do that. Yes, we've got some yellows here. Oh, I've got to get some nice blue in there as well. There's a bit of the sky showing along there, so we'll have to put that in. And also, right in here we have yellow. Just clean that brush again, make sure it's free of green. I need some really bright yellow in some of these places, and we'll go over with some paint later to put some of the boughs that come across. So I just clever out that. And we've got a little bit of blue I've got to put up there as well. So we'll just put some, make sure we've got these leaves. It's projecting a little bit over the bough of this tree here. Got to vary that as well. Just now in here too, let's just get some faint greens going. Right, now I think I'm going to, let's get straight in and clear some, put some blue in there to the sky, get some sky holes. So I've got some ultramarine, and I'm going to titanium white, and see what we can do with that. Yes, a little bit more blue there. Ooh, that's a bit fierce. Let's give more white to that. Yes. So I'm going to try and mark in between some of these boughs. Bring my sky down. I've got blue in here as well. All right. And there is also, we can put dabs of blue in here. I'm trying not to disturb the layers of blue, of green and browns that I put in there. Just trying to dab it in and lift my brush away rather than smear it, and otherwise I'll end up with a muddy sky, or muddy colours generally. We don't want that. So there's a big hole there. Let's make use of it. Yes, I'm starting to see it now coming together. Some blues down here. They come fairly well down actually. The sky is just appearing through these trees. Yes, I had a lovely day out walking through this woodland. It's a magical place to go visit if you can. Right, and I think that side, all that bough. As I said, I'm painting on this Winsor Newton oil painting paper, which is a new thing for me. So it takes some getting used to. Okay, so let's get this foreground in though. There's such a lot of white, so that throws our eye off a little bit. So let's get a little light brown earthy colour, certainly. I think I'm going to get some yellow ochre in here with a little bit of earthy and perhaps the odd touch of red. That's a little too much. Let's knock it back a bit with some browns, more yellow ochre. Yes, let's put some liquid on here. Yes. I think we need a little browner. Let's get some sienna, raw sienna, and burnt umber, I think. Get me a little darker. Things in here, and we've got to get those shadows as well. I say this liquid is quite handy, certainly coming off my brush a lot easier. Again, I'm varying these colours. Just slight variance. Some of the earthy colours there. I'll put some marks on there, more textural marks, in a little while. Let's get some darks, a bit of green perhaps, dull colours. Just scrubbing in it actually at the moment, just to get my, and we can come over with a smaller brush and put some textural marks, try and represent some of these leaves and leaf litter that I've got coming in there. I'm looking carefully at them. They're flecks of white, actually, strangely enough. But let's see what we've got. So I'm really mixing up now a lot of my colours I've got on my palette there, different greens. I've got a little bit of olive green actually. So I've mixed that in with some reds, and so I'm just blocking it in here. Then I think we've got to address these woodland a little bit better too. But well, I've got some, let me get a smaller brush, which will help me, I think. Now let's have a look. What have I got? Yes, here we are. I think this is a little bit smaller one here, a little flat. That will give me slightly different marks here. As I said, I've got to get some white in there, little flecks of white. I think I'm going to get onto this flat now. Let's see if I'll put some more greens in here, I think. Yes, I think we need that. So get some blue, some yellow ochre, a slightly different green we've got now, which we'll call a little ochre added to it, I think. Yes, I think. Sort of stabbing motion now with this flat. That can give me a little bit of suggestion of leaves, I think. But I've got to get and sort out the some of these boughs, I think. And actually we could put some whites in to some of these trees here. Got this big one here. Quite. Yes. Let it stand out a little bit better now. And here I've got a lot of some white grasses, actually, sort of a bank of them coming along there. Got to get some of these trees in as well though. Let's get a smaller brush, which yes, I think that's what I need. Put some more on this tray as well. Help show it a bit better. And yes, that's got some light greeny structure there. Some greens and greys, I think we'll put into that. Put some green out to the side of there, help a bit of negative painting as I do that. You might see more of the bough of that tree. Oh, you see, there we go. I think I'll put some different colour, different brown, just ring the changes. It needs to be a bit wider there. And then we've got some of these trees here are quite white actually. So let's see if I can add some white so you can see them a little better, a little greyed out perhaps in places. And of course this tree has whites on it as well. Try and show that a little bit. Some of the different marks. But I said I think this tree a bit bigger too. Yes, it's not big enough. Make it a bit grey. I'll put some more detail in that in a minute. Help it read. See, some of these boughs up here are catching quite a bit of light. So I'll use a bit of liquid in here. Try and help it, the paint flow off of my brush a bit better. It's so tricky to get it to run off your brush sometimes when it's wet, almost wet on wet technique here. But there's a skill to this which I'm still trying to get. Yes, that's a bit better. And then we've got dabs of light on this tree. We've got one quite big shaft of light there. We've got lots of little flecks of leaf litter here. I need to probably move away a little bit from my reference, because what looks good in a photograph doesn't necessarily work in your painting. So I need to put a bit slightly darker on some of these, because they're not reading like they should. Let's get some darks going, some umber, some ultramarine, or darken it down a little bit. Yes, I think we can. Some of these. more greens over this tree. Leafy shapes. So yes, I'm looking now. I need some sort of more muted greens in some of these areas. It's just a little bit too bright. So this is all white grass here. What we can do is flicks of white all along here, all throughout this foreground area. So you've got to kind of dab it in with oil. It's not like watercolour where I could do a bit of splatter. That's not going to work with oil. Also little bits of white, lighter leaves are catching the little bits of light coming through. Also tiny little marks, little light leaves, but we could also put some slightly different tones there, which we've got to do that. And I think we need some bluey greys as well in places. Yes, I think it's tricky. Got little bits of light here. Yes, I think that's... Now, what to do here? I think I need to get some of that nice yellow in some of these places. Bring that up. A little bit of bright yellow. I've got any left here. Yes, here we are. Yes, I think I need to squeeze some more lemon yellow or cadmium yellow. Let's see what I've got here. Cadmium yellow. Yes, I think I need a bit more of this to really emphasize this. This is what drew me to this picture in the first place, was this lovely shaft of yellow through here and a little bit up here. So I've rather lost that, so I need to try and call that back a little bit with some little yellow marks, I think. Let's see what we've got. Let's clean that brush again so we don't have muddy yellows. So I'm going to take this pretty much as it came from the tube now and dab those in. Yes, almost impasto style there. And more out here as well. Mustn't overdo it though, but it's a nice shaft of yellow there. And out here, some white mixed with that as well. Let's get these dots again. There are marks on that tree. Actually came out here a bit too. Let's widen that tree up a bit out to there. I think works a bit better there. And we'll get some more tree-like. I need to make this some dark shadows in there. Some browns. The roots of that tree there. So I think I need to get some yellow-white shafts of sunshine coming there. Let's clean my brush a bit. Got some odorless mineral spirit there, so I think I'm going to mix some yellow and some titanium white, and with a few little marks there to try and show this light that we've got. I think it needs to be a little whiter actually, that shadow, shaft of light there. I need to have some darker bits around it though, to emphasize it a little bit. Otherwise you don't see it. I think I'm going to put another shaft of yellow sunshine coming through right across there. Again, I've got to clean my brush so that light is coming like that. More there too. Actually, why don't I try see what I can do with my palette knife. That's a good way of introducing some bright colours. Yes, I think that's doing the trick. Yes, I can do that. And we've got little bits of light coming through there, and even a little bit in there. Yes, let's get some use on my yellow ochre as well. Let's get some of the red, so my cadmium red, mix it with some of the earthy colours I've got, and see what we can produce to help. That's what we need, I think, for this woodland foreground here. Yes, I think it's just a little too bright. I've got a real mixture of odds and ends from my palette there. Put some liquid on it, scraping it off there. You can use these colours, you can mix see what we've got. Let's put a bit of blue. Take it down a little bit. Some of our, yes, I think. Help our eye go in a little bit into the background there. Yes, that helps with a few lines to suggest some of the, yeah, that's an idea. You see some of the boughs against this woodland scene. I think we could, yes. Oh yeah, that's an idea. This one, look, showing a little bit more. Just doing enough to let your eye start to imagine what you see. You know, the viewer, if you give them the opportunity, they will see things which you didn't actually put in. They see what they want to see. It's a strange phenomena of the human brain and eye. Give enough of a hint, it will add elements to it. Yes, just enough to give us a few hints. Right, how's it looking? I'm unsure about this here. So that blotch there, I think I had intended it to be green. It's got rather a reddish, too much red there. So I think I'm just going to use a bit of phthalo and sap green, which I have on my palette there. Well, that's a bit better. Yes, I think we're getting somewhere with this. And also there were little dark areas here. In those trees there. So I'm trying to create shadows. Trying to give a bit of form to this big tree here. Yes, give me some, start to see it there a bit better perhaps. Sweep it in this direction, you start to get some form. There's a bough coming off there perhaps. We can do that. Yes, and there were lots of marks in it actually. Like that. Cracks and fissures which you get on a tree. Right. So, how much do I do with this painting? That's the thing. Do I put a few little more leaf structure? Yes, we know you build it up in layers in a way. Yes. Using my palette knife now to try and suggest some foliage, using some of that, those phthalo and different greens that I've got. Yes, starting to come. And here we had some trees, some leaves projecting over this tree here in my foreground here. Let's make that a bit darker so I can see it. Right, let's get some more before my battery goes. No, that's not working. I need something a bit darker. Stipple in a little bit. That's got a bit on that trunk of that tree. That helps a little bit. Break it up a little bit. Yes, well, it's coming. Use a scratch on the wet paint, show some lighter grasses. So there's all sorts of colours here. I think I'm going to put a little bit of red there. And also, as I say, we've got little touches of white. If I look at my references, all over actually. All over this leaf litter, just catching the light. So I think I'm going to just try and do that, tiny little touches. It's just little flecks actually. Little flecks of light which are being caught by the sun here. little tiny flecks. Got to be tiny, you know. And let's just brighten up that a little bit there. And see, we've got little bits of light poking through there. And also we've got little bits in the forest there where the light is getting through. Little smears of light. So anyway, if you like this, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel, or any comments too. Any of you got any thoughts on this painting or painting in general, please let me know. I like to read the comments. I'll respond to all of them. So there you have it. It's the nature reserve, the RSPB in Sandy in Bedfordshire in the UK. So if you're passing by, do pop in and see some of the amazing stuff there. And hopefully you'll see a few birds as well. So marvellous. Well, thanks for watching. Well, there is the painting with I've taken the tapes off, and you can see a nice clean edge, hopefully. I'm fairly pleased, although is it a little bit too confused? Can the viewer see what I'm trying to get? This pathway through the forest here with a little bit of sky here, but the yellow and keeping some brightness too. I'm not so sure where I've got away with that or not, or is it just a little too confused? But it certainly leaves the viewer with some work to do, and whether it's to their taste or not, I don't know. But anyway, there it is.